Hey guys, welcome to the 100,000 subscriber celebration. I guess that's what this is. Maybe a 100,000 subscriber live feed, whatever. How'd y'all like that music? I'm looking over here because all my comments are over here. I have to watch. I'm using this. It's not new software. It's called OBS. I just figured it out yesterday. Nioma and I've been working on this and trying to get this squared away. And I've been on Skype with my wife all day trying to get all these images in the screen with the pictures behind them and things like that. Get the music cued in and all. So I know this is a stupid question, but can you guys hear me okay? All right, I'm going to assume you can because I don't have anybody going. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. So here's what we're going to do. We've got some guests tonight. I've got Nioma Finn, who is my partner in crime with both podcasts. She is editing 99% of the stories that we do on Dixie Cryptid. And what if it's true? She's writing some. She's recording a lot. If you've listened to the podcast, you've heard her voice. She's got such a pretty voice, and she's a wonderfully nice person. And I just love talking to her, and I can't wait for you to meet her. So we're going to meet her. I've also got some surprise guests, and I'm going to bring in a little while. I think one of them. It's a pair of brothers, and they're once you get to know who they are, you'll know who they are. It'll ring a bell with you. But I'm going to leave that for a surprise. And as soon as I can see their screen here, and they're not there yet. But one of them had to run out and do something for his wife, I think. So I'm all about that. But what I thought I'd do is just burn up about 10 minutes here, answer some questions, and tell you some things that people have been asking about. So I'll start. This will take just a few minutes, but the first thing I want to remind you of is the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference. It is going to be on July 24th, 2021. Nance from Buckeye Bigfoot, myself, and Neoma Finn are going to be there. The event is only one day. You have to buy tickets in advance to get in. It goes from 9 a.m. on the 24th until 6 p.m. and then it's over. I was looking at their website today and they've got a lot of good speakers. David Pilates. I bet I could pull it up and just read them off to you. I know I could. Let me open this website. Here's what they say. Join us for the third annual Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference on July 24, 2021 at the Gatlinburg Convention Center. Doors open at 9 a.m. and we go to 6 p.m. This event is open to the public, but advance tickets are recommended before they sell out. Then they give some statistics on, I think the limit for people they can let in is 2,000, so there's 2,000 tickets for sale. And I think they have a hike planned for ticket holders later in the day. I'm not sure. You can go to the website. I'm looking at gatherupevents.com. You can just do a Google search on Smoky Mountain Bigfoot. But here are some of the speakers who are going to be there. David Pilates, Wild Bill, William Neff from Mountain Monsters, Huckleberry, Joe Lott from Mountain Monsters, Ron Moorhead. I've heard Ron Moorhead before. He's real interesting. He's got some really, really cool ideas on Bigfoot and the paranormal and the alien aspect of all that. I love hearing that stuff. Charlie Raymond, Matt Pruitt. These people are researchers. And then there's three women from a group called She Squatchers. Jen Cruz, Tammy Trickle, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and Jenna Grover. So just mark that down. We're going to be there. Neoma is going to get on stage and she's going to sing. She's going to sing a song. And I'm planning on doing a recreation of Patty walking away in interpretive dance in a little yellow thong that I have. Oh, wouldn't you love to see that? That would be really, really, that would go viral on the internet. But I actually do have a few thongs. I have a winter thong and a summer thong. I'd wear my summer thong on this one. But my winter one it's fur lined. It's got cargo pockets, so I can have a place to put my wallet and my pocket knife and things like that. So yeah, yeah. Uh, and in our booth, you have to come to our booth because we're going to have a water slide. We're going to have a merry-go-round for the kids, and Neoma's got this pack of monkeys she raises in the back of her house, and she's bringing those, and they do all kind of tricks. And we may put David Pilates in a dunking booth. So you got to come by our booth. It'll be tons of fun. So so there's that. You guys make plans if you can make it to Gatlinburg. It should be a lot of fun. I'll tell you what I'm going to do there. You know, I've said it in my videos before, but I bought this podcast machine and I'm going to bring it. It's got microphones and little microphone stands and it does great recordings. And while I'm there, if any of you guys want to sit down and just tell your own story, I won't interview. I'll sit across from you and we'll talk but you can be in a podcast. Now that's another thing that the Bigfoot conference is doing. They are inviting, if you go to the website, you can fill out an application to actually get up on stage and tell your encounter. But I'm guessing there might be some people who, like me, I wouldn't get up on that stage. I'm totally chicken shit on being in front of people. Somebody said, you should speak at this thing. I'm like, no way. There's no way I'm doing that. But if you'd like to tell your story, I'm going to have a little table in our booth, and either myself or Neoma or Nance, and if Nance does it, she'll take the audio and put it on her podcast. And, I don't know. Really, I want to hear your story, but I really want to use that podcast machine. I'm just being real candid with you. I want to use that podcast machine and get some use out of it because it just sits back here on my desk and I never use it because my butt's always parked here at this desk. So anyway, I can see Joyce laughing about the monkeys and the singing. I can see her on screen. Oh, I didn't know if she'd be mad at me or not. Okay, another thing that's come up quite a bit in the comments is Steve Lilly. Steve Lilly, I wrote those stories I was just talking to Nioma, and she goes, well, I've been sitting here for 2 hours kind of waiting. I didn't have anything to do, so I wrote a story. And that's what writers do. People with imaginations and people who love to write, if we have free time and it's quiet, we'll sit down and write. My problem is getting free time to sit down and write. That's my problem. But every once in a while I do, and I've gotten where I love doing these Steve Lilly stories. So here's my plan on Steve Lilly. We've got number 7 coming up. I've started it. It needs a little refinement, and there are some little twists and turns in it that I've got to work out. Pretty easy stuff, but I need to be able to get to a quiet place and think, and that takes a little work for me. But my plan is to put 10 Steve Lilly podcasts out. There'll be 7, 8, 9, and 10. There'll be 4 more, and then the rest of them are going in books and on audio books. They're going to be long format stories because I've always wanted to write a longer story. I'm not a good writer necessarily, but I've kind of done the short story thing, and I love doing them because you can do them, in a couple of days. But I'll be doing the long form. I don't know how many thousands of words. I'd love to hit 50,000 words, maybe. And I think that's novella size, but something of length and something I can record on an audio book. And so that's the plan. There's going to be 10 total Steve Lilly podcasts. And I don't know, I don't ever lock myself into anything, but that's kind of the plan. Then the rest of them will be books and audiobooks, and maybe we can all have a lot of fun with that. And some people have written some stories. I had several people, maybe a half a dozen guys say, "Hey man, I want to write a Steve Lilly thing." And I'm like, "Cool." And I would say, "Well, how about you write one about Lewis, or how about you write one about Hook?" And I'll do Steve Lilly and you do, and I'll narrate those and we'll just put those on podcasts. So if you guys get want to write those stories as kind of fan fiction, that is great. Fan fiction is awesome, and I encourage you to do that. And you can hear it on my podcast. The stories I've got on that are Steve Lilly related, I've just been kind of holding them until I get mine done on Steve Lilly. Then I'm going to pull those up and I'm going to narrate those. And I'd love to have some more. So that's the plan on Steve Lilly. And he's that guy's a character. But I'll tell you this: in the novels, he's a lot deeper guy than you think. He's not. He's not. I think my chickens are. I think my chickens are over here making noise. I can't tell with these. But so on that note, on writing, on my website, I've got, you know, it's a pretty simple website. There's nothing really special about it. But that's where all our podcasts are. And so what I started the What If It's True podcast, and that podcast was all going to be separate and different standalone material. But I kept thinking that people were watching the Dixie Cryptid videos so much, and this podcast thing is such a great thing. It really is a super easy thing to do. So I thought, well, I'm going to just start, from a certain date back a couple of months ago. I started uploading the Dixie audio to that podcast, and that podcast is doing great. We're approaching 200,000 downloads. We're averaging about 15,000 downloads per week, which is phenomenal. I mean, I'm so happy about that. But here's the thing about podcasts. I love YouTube. YouTube's been great to me. But here's the thing about YouTube. You do have to deal with ads. Whether my channel is monetized or not, they're going to run ads on these videos. I just got probably my third notice that they reserve the right to run ads on any video. And I kind of control how many go on there. And every time when I put a 30-minute to an hour video up, man, I'll look at it and there'll be 20 ads in there, and I'll take 75% of them out, and then I'll space them between stories. But if you go to the podcast, you're not dealing with those ads, except ads that I might put in the podcast, which are never any longer than 60 seconds. Lately, I've been doing podcasts for other podcasters that I know, and they are running ads for me, and it's kind of a reciprocal thing. Somebody complained about it the other day, and I'm like, come on, dude. 60 seconds in a 30-minute video, you can deal with that while I help other podcasters out. Plus, you get to hear about another podcast that you might love. So that's my thought on that, and that's why I'm doing that. But if you listen to Dixie on the podcast, you can listen directly from my website, which is dixiecryptid.com, or whatifitstruepodcast.com, and you can listen, and it uses like an eighth of the data. That I know a lot of people are on limited data plans. If you watch YouTube, you're burning up data like dried up pine logs. If you download a podcast, you're using hardly any data. So that's why I started doing that, and truckers like it, and guys that work in shops like podcasts. And so it's a really good thing. And I encourage you to, now look, if you quit watching YouTube and you go to the podcast, I lose that income. But I'm fine with that, because I'm here to do these for you, because I love doing this. I love making money. I'm not ever going to lie about that. But I do this to get the stories out, and because I enjoy it so much. So consider the podcast when as moving forward, or keep watching YouTube. It doesn't matter. If you watch it on YouTube, I get paid for every view. Uh, let's see, 2 or 3 other things while we get everybody together. I think everybody's in their place, but let me run through these questions that I get over and over, over and over. The music for my videos is always in the description. Now, there may be 1 or 2 that I missed through the last 2.5 years, but I get emails and questions in the comments, and it's true on just about any video. If you want to know what a song is, or you want to know what product the person is showing you, if they're doing a review or whatever, the information is usually in that drop down description. So you guys look there if you want to know what music I'm playing, and you can copy it and paste it in a YouTube search bar, and you can usually find that music. The other thing is, if you're going to send a story, it's better to email it to dixiecryptid@gmail.com. A lot of people will write their stories in the comments. Don't do that. Somebody else is just going to copy it and paste it and put it on their channel. If you want me to do it, email it to me and I'll get to it. It takes a while, but I'll get to it. Let's see. Oh, remind you of the audiobooks I have out. If you go to my website, I've got 5 audiobooks out, and I'm working on 3 long novels now that are written by Jack LaFountain, and they're all 3 really good. And let me plug his latest book. It's called Tracks. You can look it up on Amazon, and the name of the book is called Tracks. The author's name is Jack LaFountain, just like it sounds, LaFountain. And I'm recording that book right now. I'm late on the book. I'm late on all 3 of these novels because of my workload, and I'm sure he is frustrated with me. But Jack, if you're listening, I'm working on them. I think that's about it. I think that's all I wanted to tell you. Go to my website, look at those books if you're interested in them. Now, look, I'm not a professional narrator. I'm not a Will Patton. Although I listen to him all the time, and I'm trying to learn from Will Patton. He's my favorite audiobook narrator. And I'm trying to learn and put a little more drama in my audiobooks and more emotion, and not necessarily inflection, but just to try to reflect the scene of what's going on in that novel. So I'm getting better at it. But if you were to buy any of these first 5, just know that's my first whirl at it. But all 5 of them are written by good authors, so they're good books. And if you see them on my website and you'd rather read them, go to Amazon, look them up. They're all in print, and just go ahead and do that. So I told you I was going to bring in some surprise guests, and let's see. Well, they were both there. There they are. There they are. I want to introduce you to some guys. I'm going to switch scenes here, and maybe they'll be there. Look at those guys, man. Look at those guys, man. Look at those handsome dudes. This is the Yeti crew. These are the guys from the Yeti lair. They are. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. This is Cliff. We can hear you. This is Tyrell, Stacy. Both of you guys have the same last name. Both of you guys have the same last name.
Yes, sir.
We're brothers. Okay. Brothers. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? You're in New Mexico right now. You're in New Mexico right now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Okay, so I've bought maybe 25 bars of your soap, and I love it. And I love it. And I get comment after comment after comment. Absolutely love the soap. Of course, the hippie number one, which is one of my favorites. Have you gotten your stock down? Have you gotten your stock down on the hippie number one yet, guys?
Yeah. You're doing a great job, man. Thank you, everyone. The hippies are going fast now.
Okay, that's good. Why don't you take a minute and tell us how you got started? Tell us how you got started. What your goals are. What your mission is. Just take us from top to bottom and just kind of explain to everybody what you guys are doing.
Well, we started. Tyrell here. We started our company. My daughter has skin allergies, gluten allergies, and so I also have gluten allergies. She was born with eczema, and to go along with that, just you can't use nothing much like everything you can use causes on her legs. So started making soaps for me and her at the house, and that was about 5 years ago. And just sort of handed them out as gifts here and there. It's like the same old story that you hear with everybody that makes soaps. And we just found a certain blend, and we went from there, and pretty much I just started out just selling little bits here and there, and it just went from there, really.
Yep. And that's about the time he asked me to come aboard and see if I could help a little bit of my marketing skills and getting out there a little bit, the Facebook world up a little bit. I told him I was a big fan of a man named Cam Buckner. I listen to his stories every night. It really helps me sleep. Not that you put me to sleep, Cam, but you know how it goes. And we just kind of came together on it and tried to basically make it a professional company the best we could. We've been off the ground rolling for about 90 to 100 days now, and y'all Dixies out there have just been so great to us. We really, our mission is to really give back, take care of everyone around us, our family, our friends, people that might need a leg up, buying shoes for the kids that can't afford them to play basketball and football and soccer, and just really give people an opportunity to do things we may not have got to as youngsters.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what are your plans? What are your plans for the business from this point forward?
Okay.
Well, right now we're actually currently in looking into a new facility. And so we're basically going to try to just expand as demand moves forward. We want to grow equally with the demand. When you come on the website, you see things out of stock. You know how it goes with volumes. You can just put more in there. So it's a bigger place. Just make bigger stuff. Just have everything more readily available. Plus, just give us more breathing room, more legs. Again, like Clint just said, we do a lot for the community. So, there's other things that we have. We store clothes and stuff like that for our neighbor program. So just overall helps. Our overall thing is mainly just grow and make the business for our family, loyal customers, help other businesses get off the ground, just like how Clip marketing has really helped Yeti bars get off the ground. Without Clip, Cam, you guys, and the Dixie Nation have just been overwhelmingly awesome. So that's our goal. Is just to grow, make a good, positive, good company for America, in America, quite honestly, and leave something for our girls.
Yep.
That's awesome. I think we're having an audio problem. I think you guys can hear me, but there's something going on with this software that. So we may have to get. This always happens to me.
No worries.
There's always a technical thing. I don't know, but I'm seeing comments like crazy that there's echoes and they can't hear. It's my fault. It's not your guys' fault. It's not your guys' fault. So. But we may do this again. So you guys can. Hey, did your kids want to say hi? Or anything like that?
Well, they did, but they got taken to the aquatic center so they can go swim. Those girls were getting crazy on us. Okay. All we do is do soap. So.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, you go to their Facebook page and watch Tyrell and his family. They drive around and they feed the homeless. Y'all usually go on Sunday mornings. Saturday mornings. What's your
try to do Saturday mornings, but most of the time, because Sunday we go to service on Sundays. So but Saturday morning, yeah. Plus, it's to get going on the weekend. Hurry bird gets the worm, if you will.
Yeah. And so, just briefly, unless don't go too deep. You guys know what it's like. To be hungry, don't you?
Yes, sir.
And so that's kind of your motivation. I mean, I'm guessing. Thinking, I wish somebody just one of those days when I was really hungry would have stopped by. Is that kind of where your motivation comes from? Or?
Yeah, it really does. And to be quite honest, a few people have stepped up and done that. There were a lot of times where we were alone as children for a good portion of time, and we had a few individuals help us out, and that's really kind of given us our work ethic, our strive to help others, and it's just we feel it's something we should do.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to put you on the spot.
I didn't want to put you on the spot on that.
We'll do this again.
We'll do this again soon.
I know.
And I know.
If you don't want to do it on camera,
if you don't want to do it on camera, I want to hear your
because
whole story.
I'm just all into people's
stories, and
I'm so inquisitive that I'll probably bug people to death. And it's hard to do on a show. It's hard to do. Maybe we could do this. But maybe we could do that. You know, at some point. You know. So, fellas, thank you for being on.
Thank you for being on.
And if the audio is bad, I don't know to the audience, but yeah, Nioma is saying that maybe audio on your end is too loud, but I don't know.
But I turning my gain down here.
Y'all think you're fine, Cliff.
Y'all think you're fine, Cliff.
Okay.
It may be me, and I'm probably going to have
to read up on this.
I'm so disappointed because I thought
this
thing
nailed.
I got it nailed.
I got it nailed.
Great live stream, but of course, just my love.
Of course, just my love.
That's the way it goes. Okay, guys, thanks for hanging with us, and thanks
hanging
for
on the line for
hanging on the line for the last 45 minutes to an hour and waiting on me. And guys, YetiBars.net,
Yeti Bars on
Yeti Bars on
go
Facebook.
check their website.
Go check their website
and their Facebook page out.
Tons of
different
varieties of soap.
Species of soap.
Maybe we call them species.
Maybe we call them Yeti bars. Since they're Yeti bars.
They have many species of
and they have a new thing coming up.
Do you want to talk about the?
Let me just show one.
This is a soap dish.
Our viewers.
He makes these.
He makes these.
I don't know if you guys can see her. There's
a Dixie Cryptid.
It's actually laser cut.
It's actually laser cut in there.
But the Yeti guys.
are picking up
some that have Yeti bars.
Yeti bars right here.
And they're going to start offering those.
In a package.
I don't want to get out of bounds
here and tell you what they're doing.
These are made of cedar.
They're
so
nice. Oh man, they're nice.
The viewer who sent them.
Oh,
that looks so good.
Oh, that looks so good.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
Let your bar dry out.
Let your bar dry out.
Because I had a Yeti bar.
I had a Yeti bar at the.
At my kitchen sink because I like to wash my hands with it.
Wash my hands with it.
You spell it on your hands.
You spell it on your hands for hours.
One of these would help because
it just turns to mush sitting in that water on the edge of the sink. So
anyway, go to their website.
When they have these up. Take a look at these little
drainers. They're really awesome. They're
very well made. Very well made.
Just like everything else the Yeti
Crew does. They do a great job.
Their customer service is
great. I wanted to have them on. I wanted to have them on.
Kind of talk to you guys, even though you probably couldn't understand with all the echo. But anyway, just hang with me. We'll get this audio stuff. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut you loose.
We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. We love you, brother. Thank you.
You guys too. Have a good one.
Love you guys too. Have a good
night. Have a good night.
Okay, we're back, and I think they're gonna those guys will probably click off, and maybe the audio will. I think it's when I bring more than one person in, there's some kind of thing. Now I want to introduce you to Nioma Finn. Let me go to her scene. You ready, Nioma? I bet she's
there she is.
There she is.
She's so pretty with her glasses on. So you guys tell me what the audio sounds like. How are you?
How are you?
I am well, thank you.
It's great. You look great. Thanks for waiting so long.
Thanks for waiting so long for me.
I know it's a pain in the butt, but I think people are excited to see who you are and hear what you're doing.
Well, here I am.
There you are. Nioma has been our stories.
Her and I connected. About 3 months ago?
I think it was about
more
3
like
months
5 months ago, almost 6 months ago.
Okay, well, time just slips by. So she started editing
these stories and
somebody says it's better now.
Okay, that's good. That's good news. That's really good news. That's really good.
He said the echo's bad. The echo's bad.
It is back.
I'm gonna try.
It is back. Now I've lost you, Nioma.
Okay, I thought maybe if I could mute something at this end, it would help, but it didn't.
I think it's something to do with my. I think it's something to do with my system here. I don't really know what to do. Let me do this. Nope, that's not gonna work.
Well, I'm gonna try one more thing.
I'm changing modes here, hoping that maybe that'll help reduce it a little bit. Yeah, somebody says it's on my end, and I think they're right. I don't know what to do. I don't really know what to do.
Does that change anything?
See, it's not echoing with me. It all sounds perfect. It all sounds perfect in my. Let me try something.
Hi, Virginia.
I wonder if
Hi,
that
Virginia. I'm sorry.
Does that help the echo?
Kelly. Hi, Kelly. There's such a delay. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I switched to headphones. And
I can hear you really well.
Yeah.
You have to use headphones. Nioma needs headphones. Okay. All right. I'm just going to keep going, and we're just going to hope some people can understand this. But so Nioma and I connected through a comment. She made a comment on a video, and I've taken it down. But she said that she was interested in if I ever did any writing to edit. She wanted to take a look at it to test it and see if she wanted to do the edit on it. And so I got in touch with her, and I told her, I said, I'm nowhere near close to having a book ready. I've got maybe 3 chapters done. Time again is my enemy. But I said, how do you feel about editing some of these stories? That way I can get my podcast out quicker. And she goes, well, I'll give it a whirl. And what did you think when I said that? Did it kind of scare you, or were you excited, or what? I mean, is it a pain in the butt? How's it going?
I actually really enjoy it. Interestingly, the ones that I like the best are the ones that come in really poorly written. And I like it when they put a lot of detail in because it gives me a lot to work with. So it's my relaxing thing to do. I try to do. I try to do 5 a week, but that's only because you told me to slow down. I do 10 a week if I could. I love reading the stories. I know that sometimes people they mean one thing, and I like trying to figure out what they mean, but they don't always write what they mean. So that's always fun. And I'm gonna kill this a little bit. Can you still hear me okay? At your end? Okay. But anyway, it's been really fun and exciting. I love reading the stories. I've been into Bigfoot since I was a kid, and so it's fun that I get to read them, and then I get to turn around and hear you read them, and then I hear all the mistakes I made. But it's I don't actually have the audio of the stream on. I've got that turned off. Somebody suggested that I have the audio of the stream on. Here comes my rock star. He's telling me, do I say it out loud, sweetheart?
Echo.
Yeah, we're trying. We're really trying.
He's cool.
It's me that's got the echo. Okay. Cam, I'm the only one that's echoing.
No, the Yeti guys were too. It's the incoming audio is what it is. And so I'm recording this, the audio only, and maybe I can replace the audio I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it won't be a total disaster. Maybe people can hear us and, kind of make out what we're doing. But anyway, the reason I slowed you down is because I didn't do any podcasts in March. I didn't do anything in March. And I was getting like 10 or 20 stories a week. And I'm like, okay, slow down. So that's why I'm doing so many now, because I'm trying to catch up with Nioma. She's so fast. And what's funny is I usually go to bed at 10 or 10:30.
That's when some nights
some nights I'm up late. I'll be up watching television or reading a book, and an email will come in at 12:30 a.m. and it's like a story she just did, and I'm like, and I'll send her an email back, and I'm like, go to bed. Good gosh, So, but anyway, so now you've done some narrating. How is that? Have you ever done any of that before?
Well, I've done voiceover work. No, I shouldn't say voiceover work. My husband's mother, when she was 91 years old, with my husband's help, published a book. And we recorded 2 chapters. I recorded a chapter that his mother had written, and my husband recorded a chapter that he had written. And we have those up on YouTube, but so I had done that. I have a long history of acting. I started acting when I was a kid. I love to act. Not good at it, but I do love to act. I'm one of those weird people who I don't do well in a crowd, but put me on stage in front of an audience. And I always tell people, give me a microphone, a stage, a locked door, and an audience, and I'll go for hours. Yeah. And the audience will just have to suffer through it, because I love to talk. I love to be in front of people. I don't like dealing with people, but I can talk for hours. So I kind of laughed when you said we were going to do this for an hour. I thought, yeah, right.
How long have we been on?
We've been on for a little over half an hour already. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Of course, 10 of it was that music, but yeah, my take on you was you were a little introverted, and you wouldn't probably be that type of person. However, you're probably introverted in what you don't want to deal with the people, but you don't mind performing and doing something they enjoy, right?
The big thing is that there's this invisible wall between me and the audience, and that wall is like a protection device for me. And when I intermingle with people, I find I get drained. And I love people. It's not that I hate people or anything, but being around people really drains me, and I have to go somewhere and recharge, where other people are the opposite. They get charged by being around people. So yeah, introversion has always been an issue for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm that way too. I can do this, and I can narrate, and put my voice out there. But again, people had said, you should speak at the Smoky Mountain conference. I'm like, hell no, there's no way. I'm not going to do that. And, I mean, I wouldn't mind standing up and saying, doing like a little 3 to 5 minute thing, but these people are going to get up and speak for an hour, and there's no way. I can't, my mind doesn't organize things that way, and I jump from, squirrel. I'm always from one thing to the next. And so, now, as far as the narration goes, are you, so you feel like you're kind of you're kind of at home doing that, or are you more at home, like visually in front of an audience, or both?
Well, I have a voice for radio and a face to go with it. So I like to be heard more than seen. No doubt about that. But my big drawback is just learning the technology. I had to learn how to use the Rodecaster. I've had to learn how to use new programs for editing. And it feels like I never have enough time in the day to really learn the things I need to learn. But I'm getting better. I am getting better at it. I think my favorite part is always going to be the writing. That's the editing. That's always going to be the best part. I love seeing what people have to say, and I love being able to help them say it in a way that is clear and expresses what they are feeling. Um, the right. I mean, I've been. I was. I can't remember a time when I didn't write stories. I think when I was probably 2 or 3 years old, I was telling stories to my baby dolls. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I remember actually winning an award in second grade for a stupid poem I wrote. And so writing is my biggest comfort zone, and I will always love that most. And I
I hope
really
you,
love helping other people write.
oh, that's awesome. I hope you don't mind me telling people this. You'll probably hate me, but we were having an email exchange the other day, and Nioma was telling me she's the baby of what, 5 or 6 siblings,
There's 5 of us all
and
together.
some of
Yeah.
them are like 18 years older than her. So she's like so far behind them, and the sister that's 7 years older
She
was oops, and then she told me that then I came along and my parents were like, oh hell no, and I told her your new name is oh hell no.
yeah. Yeah, my sister's an oops, and then I'm an oh hell no. But my sister will tell you that she was the only one of the 5 kids who was planned, and they got what they want. So she kind of ruined my story for me. But um, but and I also have to say she's 5.5 years older than me, not 7. And I need to make that clear because every year on my birthday, our birthdays are exactly 6 months apart. And every
Oh,
year on my birthday, she gets to say she's 5 years older than me. And then from her birthday to my birthday, I get to say she's 6 years older than me. And that's a big deal for us. We like to share that.
well, I think
But
the
there's
reason
seven
for me
years
bringing
between her
that
and
up is because there you were, this little girl, and all your siblings were off at school, and so you
me.
probably had uh, a lot of free time on your own. So you just made up stories and telling stories to your dolls, and
Yeah.
that's how writers are born. They're to me they're born out of tragic situations or like those 2 guys with the Yeti crew. Those guys came up hard. I mean, they came up really hard, and I hope I can get them to tell their story because not to sell soap or anything, but these stories are important, and but they would probably they could probably write some pretty good stories about some experiences they've been through. And
Hmm.
so when you sent me that email the other day, I said, I know exactly. She sat by herself and played by herself, and she learned to make up stories and do things like that. So I kind of read that about you. Now, we do stories on cryptids. And so how did you, I know you don't want to talk about your encounter because if anybody wants to hear it, it's on the podcast. But was that the catalyst that got you interested in it, or were you interested in the subject before that?
I don't know if you can hear my neighbor's dog, but she's out in the backyard looking for me.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry if that's what you
Hey, we
hear.
don't have any
But
echo anymore. I fixed it. So,
oh, yay. Okay.
yeah, let the dogs bark. Doesn't matter.
Oh, all right. Um, I actually got interested in Bigfoot when I was very, very young. There was a movie, and I'm sure everybody knows the movie. It was The Legend of Boggy Creek. My whole family's actually originally from Arkansas. I'm the first generation Yankee, which I call myself a Yankabilly because I was raised in the North by Southern people. But the my older siblings were all there at the house, and they were there with girlfriends and spouses or whatever. And we had watched Night of the Living Dead, and they all left, and I was home there by myself with just me and mom and dad, and they'd gone to bed. And the next movie that came up was Legend of Boggy Creek. And I was mesmerized because, first of all, it took place in the state that all of my family was from. And second of all, it was about this creature that I had never heard of before. And then that was followed by a documentary, and it was narrated by Peter Graves. And I think it's called Mysteries and Myths or Monsters and Mysteries or something like that. And there's another version of it, or one that's really similar, that uses a lot of the same footage that was um, narrated by Rod Serling, who is probably one of my biggest heroes. And I love Rod Serling, absolutely love Rod Serling. And those really got me into it. But I never thought that I would actually have my own experience. And actually having my own experience turned me off of it for a long time. And this is why I really don't want to talk about it, because I have too many people who are quick to say that's not true. And that is so hard. That is one of the hardest things in the world, to know what you saw, to know you experienced it, to be terrified by it, and then have people call you a liar for it. And I'm not going to talk any more about it than that. That's all you need to know. But that turned me off for quite a few years. I didn't really want to talk about it openly. But this thing called YouTube came along, and I realized that there were a lot of channels out there that were talking openly about it. And for the longest time, I secretly subscribed to a lot of these channels, but I would never play them when other people are around. And the more I got to realize that there are a lot of people who are willing to talk about this, the less that I was afraid to talk about it myself. Now, having said that, I have to tell you that when I was in college, one of the speeches that I gave was a speech about, it was the one where you have to convince people. And I had to convince people that Bigfoot was real. And I got an A on that speech. And the only way you could get an A was if after you gave your speech, the class voted whether or not you'd convince them. So I've never seen any reason not to believe in Bigfoot. It's in my mind, it's a primate. And I just have always believed in Bigfoot. I don't see why it couldn't exist. I get frustrated.
So is most of your writing, you write all the time? I'm assuming you're writing something every week at least. Is it all centered around cryptids and monsters and things like that, or real or imaginary?
Actually, no. I do have 2 books, and you've read excerpts from them. One is about, try to make this as simple as possible. There are 3 sets of characters in the book that kind of go hand in hand, and then there's a 4th one. The 4th one's a serial killer, and it's about how he takes the young girls and he takes them to his cabin and he kills them and he buries their body in the woods. And then one of the other sets of characters are 2 young women, much like the She Squatchers, who are, they have a YouTube channel, and their whole thing is about going out and researching cryptids, not just Bigfoot, but Dogman and Mothman and the Jersey Devil and the whole 9 yards. And they're doing a thing on Dogman. And they end up at the same place where this guy kills his killing field. And in the meantime, there are 2 old retired cops that have been best friends since they were kids. They were in the police force together in this small town. One was the sheriff, one was a deputy. And they know that something has been going on. They've not ever been able to figure it out. They're not active police officers anymore. Plus, they know about the strange things that happen around this particular area. And then the last ones are 2 actual Bigfoot cryptid researchers who kind of laugh at these young girls because they're just doing it all wrong. Anyway, they all end up together in a cabin. The serial killer suddenly realizes that he's been feeding Dogman his victims. And so he's basically habituated them. And they
give it all away.
I won't.
Okay, so there's a lot more.
Cabin, and from that point forward, it gets crazy. And
wow! From that point forward.
Yeah.
So, when is it going to be published? That's my question.
I would like to see it published by the end of summer, but I haven't had a lot of time to work on it lately because I'm actually starting my own website, and I'm trying. What I do is I try to help people self-publish books. That's how I got to know you. I was, I like to show people that they don't have to go through a publisher. There are times when going through a publisher is the right thing to do. There are times when it's not the right thing to do. There are certain topics that are better self-published. If you can see behind me, all of these books up here, a great many of those are self-published books. And that goes all the way down. It just keeps going and going and going. Awesome. But there are times when you want to use a publisher too. And I know the mechanics. I know what it takes to, writing the book is only the first step. You need an editor. You need to format the book. You need cover art. There's so many things. Yeah. And so that's what I'm trying to get going. And because of that, I've kind of had to put my writing on the side. Although today I wrote a quick 1-page short story because I was sitting here waiting for this, and it popped into my head, so I wrote it. Not very good, but I'm going to put it aside, and I'll come back to it in a few months, and it'll get better.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, we're going to do this again. I don't want to cut you off, but we're already at an hour. We're over an hour. And I know everyone is waiting to know who's going to win the drone. So I have to put a limit on this. I could talk to you. I could talk to you for hours, but we'll try to do this in the next 2 weeks, and just you and I just sit here and chat, and we'll wind you up and turn you loose. You're the perfect interview guest. I'm also got an interview set up with, I haven't actually got the date set up, with an author, D.A. Roberts. Nioma and I read a few of his stories on What If It's True. He's a really good writer, and he has tons of self-published books out, and they're Dogman based and Bigfoot based, and he's a good writer. They're really quality books, and so you guys look up D.A. Roberts. We're going to have him on in the next couple of weeks if I can. We were supposed to do it 2 or 3 months ago, and I could not get this to work, and so now I have it working. And I finally, as we're talking, I figured out how to get rid of this echo. And so it's working pretty good. But Nioma, thank you for being with me, and we'll get you back in a week or two. And every story I'm reading from this point forward, 99 out of 100, she has gotten them in good shape so that I can read them. And one last thing, just a little word from you. Wouldn't you encourage people to just keep sending them in the way they want to write them? Try to use a little punctuation to help us out a little bit. But
yeah.
But like you said, not everybody's a writer. Not everybody, but they want to convey their story. So if you convey your story to one of us, we're going to, even if it's choppy and, the sentences are incomplete, we're not looking for perfect grammar. I don't think either Nioma or I achieve perfect grammar, but we just get it readable so that it flows and it sounds good and the prose are in order. And is that kind of your take on what we're doing?
Yeah, remember this. I'm not an English teacher, and I'm not going to grade you. Period.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, you're not being graded by grammar Nazis. We want to, I want to put and I know she does when she does her narration, she wants to get it so that when you hear it, you're taken away into the story. And that is my only goal when I read mine. I want you to be swept up in the story. What's funny is, my wife will, about every month or so, she'll go, put on one of your podcasts. And I'll be sitting there listening to my own voice and forget it's my voice because I'm so into the story. And I've already read it and narrated it, but I still get into it. And I imagine that somebody else, maybe 10 other people, being that way and having that experience. And that is the best experience to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, but that's exactly how. If I can get taken away in a book yeah. If I can get taken away in a book or in a story or in an audio book, then, the writer or the narrator has done their job. That's what Will Patton does for me. When I listen to him narrate, I don't care what it is. Anyway, I could talk about this for hours. But so, would you encourage people to just keep doing what they're doing? Just Absolutely. If you've had an encounter?
Do not let your English skills, your writing skills stop you from telling us the story. We'll make something out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great advice.
The only thing that I want is as much detail as you can give me about it. Tell me how you felt about it when it was happening.
Yeah.
And you know, I can go from there, but absolutely do not ever think I can't do this because I can't write. Of course you can. Nobody writes without an editor, and that's my job. So.
Yeah, that's right. Very few people get anything published without. I mean, you know, nobody writes it. That's why they call it a first draft, second draft, third draft. You have to go through it over and over and over. You're not just checking for grammar. You're checking for, you know, does this paragraph need to be above? You know, you're doing all kind of things to structure a story correctly, and I'm horrible at that. But that's really what I'll be counting on Nioma for when I send her my book. She's probably going to pull her hair out when she sees it, but we'll do it. Hey, listen, I love you. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you so much. And I'll talk to you this week, okay?
Okay. I love you too, and I will see you later.
Okay. Thanks, Nioma. You're awesome. Bye. Okay, we're going to go to the, we're going to pick a winner for the DJI Mavic Mini drone. So here I've pulled up this comment picker, and all I do is put in the video link here. And then I start the, we don't want duplicate users. We don't want to include replies. No filter on specific text. Exclude blacklisters, but I can't list all those, and there won't be any extra entries. So what we'll do is we'll open up another tab. I'm doing this incognito because I have a lot of information on my bookmarks bar that I don't want everybody to have. So we'll search for Dixie Cryptid. There's my channel. Now we'll go to the videos. And there's the link of my stupid face. I'll pull it up.
With Fundrise, you can
pause it, get the link, and we'll go back to a YouTube comment picker, and we'll put in this link. And then we'll get YouTube comments. It's counting all the comments, all the unique comments. A lot of people entered this. I don't ever get this many comments. We're almost to 3,000. Everybody comments on a contest video. I want to say there's almost 4,000 last time I looked, but I can't remember. 3,698. So we're all set to pick a winner. All we do here is click start raffle and pick random winner, and whoever pops up is going to get this drone. Now, if your name pops up, you need to email me and give me a screenshot or something of your YouTube page so that I know it's you, or your email needs to match your YouTube handle. So I know it's you, because people could email me and say, hey, I won this thing, send it to me, here's my address. But if it's you and you win and you send me an email and it's verified, I can verify it. Send me your address and I will get that drone out to you within the next week or so. I don't move real fast on anything. Plus, I'm really busy. So here we go. We're going to start this contest and see who the winner is. It looks like Clint C is the winner. Clint C is the winner. I don't want to click that because I don't know what it's going to do. We'll just leave it like that. Clint C is the winner. Clint, if you will send me your address and something to verify that this is your YouTube channel, I will get this drone out to you. Congratulations, buddy. I'm glad you entered. Thanks to everyone who entered. We're going to move on with the live feed right now. Appreciate you guys. All right, can you guys hear me now? And now a moment of silence. Oh, this always happens to me. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Butte, can't hear you, can't hear you. Cam, you're in a vortex. I am Sorry. Oh, okay. People are saying they can hear me now. Okay, if they can hear me now. Okay. Let me back up and say what I was saying when I came back on. When I clicked out of Skype, I was bringing my feed of Skype in here, and when Nioma and I were through, I just shut it down. Of course, I lost all my video. Like a genius I am. And so I've got it set back up. On that drawing, what I did was I did it at 11 o'clock this morning because I could not figure out how to do it live. There's a way to do it. I just couldn't. I didn't have enough time to work all that technical stuff out. Look, this OBS stuff is very complicated, but it's very good. It's very good software. And this is my first time to use it, and I promise I'll get better at this. So I apologize to you guys for such a disaster of a live stream, but I want to do more with Nioma. I want you to hear the story from the Yeti lair. Those guys are so awesome. And look, I've had a lot of people, I get a lot of them are just canned kind of mass emails to YouTubers who have over 10,000 views per video, and they're, hey, partner with us on this so-and-so, this so-and-so. But I got this message from the Yeti guys, and I could tell it was personal. I could tell I could have a relationship with those guys. And so I always thought soap would be a great thing to, soap is something everyone needs. There are people who, I could do ads for cameras or I don't know, just different stuff. But soap is something everybody needs. And I thought, and their company was new. They had just launched, and I thought, I want to see, I like to see things grow. I like to see things work. I like to put in hard work and see things work, which is why I'm so deflated over this live feed. But, so I connected with them, and I was right. I was right with my initial feeling or the undercurrent I got from these guys. I knew they were good guys. And you may have heard me say, I know a little bit of their story. These guys came up tough. I mean, tough. And they have figured out a way to thrive in America, in the United States. And it's really a great story. And they're always thanking me, and they send me gifts. I'd love to show you one of the gifts that they sent me. It's crazy, but I'm not going to, but it's a real nice gift. And I'm so thankful to be connected with them. It's not a huge money deal. It's not at all. But I wanted them to keep numbers for me and see what happened with their sales with me, me just talking about the soap in every second or third video or podcast. And their sales have really picked up thanks to you all. And I don't know, I can't remember the audio thing had me distracted and all, but they are so appreciative of the Dixie Cryptid audience. And I told them, I said, this is the nicest audience on the whole internet. There's no audience nicer than these people. And so they came on board, and they don't pay me a check to do these. I just get a tiny little commission off of each sale. It's a little tiny commission. And so I'm just being candid with you. It's not like I'm going all business on this podcast, but it gives me a way to develop relationships with other people and help them make their brand work, which is fun to me. Part of being in any kind of business is it's not necessarily the money for some people. For a lot of people, it's the kill. Like salespeople, it's not the commission they make, it's making that kill, it's making that sale. And so that's kind of what it is for me, is to get involved with people, other podcasts, the small soap company, and watch them grow and have just a little hand in it, and have a little, it gives me a little piece of ownership in that. And I love these guys, and as their company grows, and as they're going to branch out and get other podcasts and other venues to advertise for them, and I've encouraged them to do that, and I want them to do it. But until and they may already be doing it, I don't know. But and if they are, that's fine. But right now they're doing a great job, and they're fulfilling their orders, and it's all working real good. So that's the story on the Yeti thing. And I don't know what else to say. We've been on an hour and 21 minutes. I told my wife I'd be in at 7. She goes, no, you won't. No, you won't. You won't be in at 7. So I'm going to pull this screen around. If anybody has any questions, there's still about 400 people in here. If anybody has any questions, fire away. We'll go for an hour and a half. We've got 8 minutes. I'll burn up another 8 minutes. So if you have a question, fire away. I'm really sorry about this live stream. I was so excited. I was telling my wife how excited I was that it was, it's all working. It's all working. It's going to be the best one yet. It's going to be the best one yet. And then when will we get more Steve Lilly? I talked about that earlier in the pod, in the very beginning. Linda Harney says she can't imagine anyone being mean. There's mean people out there, Linda. There really is. Yeah, I get comments on every video, just mean people. And it's for no reason. They just mean, just to be mean, I guess. Okay. Nioma sent me a message. She goes, think people are liking it. Don't worry. Thanks, Nioma. Yes, Bill, the drone winner was announced. The winner is Clint C. Clint, you need to get me an email. Send me an email, buddy. I hope you see this video. And look, here's the deal on the drone. If I don't get an email from him in, let's say, 7 days, to about this time next week, I'm going to draw again. That drone's going out of here. It's going in somebody's hands. So, okay, here's a question. Will you be going on a Bigfoot overnight to see if you can hear any screams or tree knocking? No, I don't do that. Marlene Roca. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce your last name. I don't do the Bigfoot expeditions. I've done a couple, and they wore me out, and I can hang with them pretty good, but will I get Chunk some Yeti bars? No, Chunk's just gonna smell like a dog. He's a dog. He likes smelling like a dog. I've had several questions. How are your dogs so well behaved and nice, and why do they follow you? They stay with me everywhere I go. We could ride 10 miles from here and they'll all stay right with me. And the only answer I can give people is that I treat them like dogs. I let them be dogs. I don't baby them. Little Lilly I do, and Hank, they're little dogs. I kind of baby them. But the big dogs, I've always just let them be dogs. And dogs like being dogs. They just like being dogs. Someone asked about the bird. The bird died yesterday morning. So that little bird has ruined my week. I mean, I have been so worried about that bird since I found it that, and then it died and it just crushed me. And I'm not a big softy. I'm really not. But it was so little, y'all. That little bird was so tiny. It wasn't a normal sized little bird. It was teeny tiny. And and you think when you find these things, I can save that bird. That bird can grow up and be free, but sometimes it doesn't work out. Douglas Ferris asked, how did you come up with Dixie Cryptid? I don't know. Initially, I was just going to tell stories that were from the South, and we've kind of gotten away from that. That's where I started. And I thought, well, the South is Dixie, and the topic is cryptids, and I just thought Dixie Cryptid. So that's what I did. And there's no magic behind it, really. Let's see, I'm looking for a question or two. iShine1209 says, do you look for Bigfoot on your bike rides? I'm always watching out for you, Cam, while I watch your stories. No, I don't. Sometimes I imagine, one like running across the road, or I imagine maybe seeing one moving through the trees. We live in some real dense pine thickets, and I think about if I saw something, but I don't really look for them. Let's see, Linda asked, when can we meet your wife? Come to the Smoky Mountain thing. She's going to be there with me. She's a pretty little girl. Woman. She's a pretty woman. When are you going to do more interviews, Cam? I'm going to start cranking those back up in the next 30 to 60 days. Joey Sweet asked that question. Cryptids Canada, Leslie, are you still doing merch, Cam? Yes, I am. But I sell all my stuff through Teespring, and Teespring just went through a huge change. They renamed their company Spring instead of Teespring, which makes no sense to me. They sell T-shirts, they sell other stuff, but they changed their name from Teespring to Spring. And some big thing came through with the link on the store that I can't copy the link and put it. I always used to put it in the little thing that pops up in a video, iCards, I think they call them. YouTube won't accept the link anymore, so it's making it real hard for people to know that I have. But if you look at below the bottom of every video, there's a little scrolling. All those products are right under there. So if you're interested in the T-shirt, and next week I'm going to be putting out some tank tops. Someone asked me longer than a month ago, if I would do some tank tops for girls. And I said, I will. I'll do that next week. And of course, I didn't get to it, but it's still on my mind. I'm going to do that. All right, we got one more minute. Papa Ed, when is the Smoky Mountain thing? It's listen to the very beginning of this live stream, the 27th, I think, 24th, or July 24th or 27th. Cryptids Canada, Leslie, I got your email. I just have not had time to respond to you. If you will just hang with me, girl. Nioma said, she sent you an email and she's asking some questions. And I said, I know. And she goes, well, you need to respond to her. And I'm like, yes, I know. And Nioma is kind of getting on me like my wife. And she's right. I need to respond. I've just been so busy. Bill Brown, when are you going to visit Larry and Mark again? I talked to them. I was going to go to their camp out at Land Between the Lakes a couple of weeks ago, but a family thing came up and I wasn't able to go. See, Chris B asked the Colorado Outfitter, have you talked to him again? Yes, I've talked to him again, and we've set up interviews about 6 times, and he stood me up every time, and I quit trying. So shame on me. But I mean, people are, sometimes they're that way. I don't understand why he would set it. Yeah, let's do another interview. It's either 5 or 6 times, and I'd call him and no answer. And he got sick for a while, and I I think he got better, and I was real worried about him, but I think that ship has sailed. He's a good guy. He probably had some things going on, and that's no problem. All right, let's see here. What kind of bike? Okay, Joe P asks, what kind of bike is that you ride? I have a fat bike. It's a Surly Wednesday. It's the least expensive fat bike, and it is a great bike. It's a great bike. And I also have a Surly Ogre. That's a 29er, and I ride it when it's dry. When it's wet, I'll ride that fat bike, and it'll go through anything, Joe. And I don't shred. I just kind of creep along with my dogs. Every once in a while in the summer, if the dogs are being lazy, I'll lock them up here with the air, and I'll go take off and go on a really good ride. But that's what I do. Surly Wednesday. All right, I'm gonna look for one more question, and we're gonna sign off. D. Davis asks, what is my profession? I'm a technical person in the construction business. I do shop drawings and things like that for steel fabricators. All right. Keep up the good work. I'll do my best. Y'all, I got to get inside and spend some time with my bride. Thank you all for hanging with me for 2.5 years. It's been so much fun. I've had the most fun with this as I've had with anything. And I hope Clint C will get in touch with me about that drone. If he doesn't, we're going to draw again. I'm going to get rid of that drone one way or another. I don't care what y'all do with it. And I think that'll do it. Hour and a half. Had a few problems. It's pretty much a disaster on the front end of this live stream, but hope you guys enjoyed some of it. And we'll see you on the. We'll do a live. We're going to start doing lives more because this is kind of fun doing this. And now that I've got this echo thing worked out, it's I think I have it worked out. It's maybe we can get it to work. I don't know. All right, you guys have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next. I'll have a podcast up in the next couple of days. Got a lot of work to do in my regular job, but we'll get that done. All right. See you guys on the next one.